You've probably seen on movies that some people have an accident with a chemical substance and obtain supernatural powers. Wait a moment, in real life things are not like that. Humans can lose everything when we come into contact with hazardous chemicals. That's why in Yara, we seek at any cost to avoid you coming into contact with them. But what is a hazardous chemical substance? Hazardous chemicals are substances in solid, liquid, or gas form that can cause harm to people or the environment if exposed. The hazardous classification is determined by criteria set out by national legislation and are identified by properties such as toxic, corrosive, irritant, asphyxiant, carcinogenic, flammable, radioactive, etc. The routes of entry of these substances to the body are via the digestive tract, respiratory tract, through wounds and dermal exposure through our skin and eyes. It is indispensable to have a work permit, risk analysis and procedure where all the controls established for the execution of the activity can be verified. Make sure you have safety data sheets available on the substances used and use the information provided. Check that you have the adequate PPE for the handling of hazardous chemicals and, of course, use them correctly. Facial and visual protection, respiratory protection, hand protection, body protection, feet protection, and head protection. Always compare PPEs with respect to the safety data sheet of the substances. When it is not possible to eliminate the activity involving working a hazardous chemical substance, it is necessary to assess the risk and take appropriate safety measures, taking into account the hierarchy of controls, elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPE. During the execution, you always must identify possible exposure and that there must be control measures to eliminate or reduce the risk, including the use of local extraction ventilation if appropriate. Keep records on the risk assessments and measures of chemical substances in the air. The management of chemicals is a high-risk task. The compatibility matrix is a guide to securely store, especially in very narrow places. It is advisable to assign sufficient space to separate properly the risks. Never forget to have your anti-spill kit in the area. The hazardous chemical substances are not a game, because working safely and responsibly goes beyond of just complying with a rule. It is to know that while you are doing works with hazardous chemicals, your family is waiting for you as their favorite hero.